You know, I think we can all agree on one thing, that food can bring us together. Think about who you share a meal with, the special dishes that combine traditions and culture and family. Well, we heard about Shane Bernardo, who created the Detroit Filipino Supper Club as a way to stay connected to his roots by preparing the recipes passed down through generations with a new group of friends. Well, he invited one Detroit to dinner.
For sure, yeah. Today I'm cooking the meal in preparation for our supper club. It's called the Detroit Filipino Supper Club, and it's a way for those of us in the diaspora to help celebrate our culture and come together around food. These are spaces that are important for me to build socially, but also culturally and politically, because food is a really great way for bringing people together.
Oh, whoa! Wow!
So the way it started is a mutual friend introduced me and Ale together, and we were just reminiscing about all the different foods that we used to enjoy when we were growing up and how much we missed that. And we missed the camaraderie and the social aspects of coming around food, especially around the holidays. The Philippine archipelago is made up of over 7,100 different islands. And Luzon is the north, where my people are from. The Visayas is the central region, and Mindanao is the southern region. To look at our foods is just one of the many ways to show that how nuanced and how varied our culture really is. My grandmother transitioned to ancestorhood in 2016, so fairly recently. That hit me pretty hard because when my parents were working, my grandmother was one of my main caregivers. But then growing up as an adult and having to deal with grief of losing my father and my grandmother, I can now pair the grief that I was feeling from that sense of loss with some of the what I refer to as ancestral wisdom and ancestral creativity within the food that I'm making. It's healing to be able to reconnect with our land kind of in an indirect way by preparing and celebrating some of these foods and dishes. If I were to ask you what your favorite food was, I'm sure you could name a whole list of things. If I were to ask you, is there a particular dish or food that you look for in and around your family gatherings, you could probably come up with another list. And then if I were to ask you, how would you feel if you could never enjoy those dishes or foods ever again, you could probably come up with another list of emotions.
When are you going?
When?
Yeah.
Same time.
Okay.
We should talk about flights.
Yeah.
Because then we could travel together.
A reason why I'm really happy to do this piece is because it gives folks an alternative for seeing our community. A lot of times Filipino Americans are homogenized and our identities are really flattened.
And we thank everybody for being here as well and for creating a community for us.
So the work that I do within myself and within the Filipino American community here in Detroit is indicative of the kind of work that needs to happen for anyone that's been displaced off their ancestral lands and has found it particularly harder or more difficult to celebrate their own traditions.